Welcome back to Tarot by the Bay. I'm David. Okay, this is going to be a reading on the United Healthcare shooter. A suspect was arrested yesterday. Double cards just popping up with regards to that shooting. Luigi Mangione is the name of the person suspected of doing that shooting. Young guy. Came from, a wealthy family, and he had gone to his valedictorian of his class, went to a private university. So he had a lot of opportunity, shall we say. Apparently also, though, he suffered from back pain from his childhood. I think Michelle was telling me that his mother had a long illness. He had a lot of, basically, life events took him to looking at the healthcare industry as being corrupt and greedy. And the speculation is that the shooting of the United Healthcare CEO was a symbolic act. Again, these are all allegations. This man is innocent until proven guilty. Although I will say that pictures of him look uncannily like at least the partial masked pictures of the UHC shooter. Now, that being said, arresting him is one thing. Being able to prove it in court is another. I imagine that they will hope that he confesses and make things easier on them. In my first reading, I wasn't sure if they would catch him, and I didn't think they would catch him quickly. I think I would consider myself wrong on both of those accounts, being that this arrest came within roughly a week of the shooting. That's pretty darn fast. And I think that just, again, goes to show if you kill really wealthy people, the police devote a lot of resources to it. If that was just some random person on the street, they're not going to all that trouble to, scan Central Park with drones and dogs and stuff like that, looking for that backpack, or checking all the hotels and youth hostels for video and stuff like that. They won't devote the resources to it, even if it's a murder case. If he made a mistake, and I do remember on the first one I had the Page of Swords over the top of the reading, that, he might make some rookie mistakes here. But I do remember I also got the full Swords Court, which was just amazing. I don't think I've ever gotten that before. So I've been thinking about how much, in some ways it united people. The left and the right had equal opinions about the greed of the oligarchs in this country. So it kind of set a shot across the bow of American oligarchs that, hey, if you want another French Revolution, you just keep going down the path you're going. I don't know if we'll actually go there, but it was kind of really a shot across the bow, even to the point that one healthcare company decided that cutting short the anesthesia that they were planning on doing was maybe not a good idea to implement at this time. But let's do a reading around the suspect, Luigi Mangione, that was arrested in Pennsylvania. Is this the person that actually pulled the trigger? Okay, entertainment purposes only. We got the Five of Cups. Disappointment. That's a pretty strong indicator of a yes. This could be a family disappointed. He's disappointed. He had done so many things right, but there were a couple mistakes. The thing that's really going to make things difficult for him, there's a couple things that I've read that would make it difficult for him. One, if he actually still had the murder weapon on him. And two would be the water bottle and protein bar that they pulled out of the garbage can that they allegedly said that the shooter purchased from the Starbucks nearby, because although the water bottle had a smudged fingerprint on it, that probably can't be used as evidence. If he drank from the water bottle and they could get DNA, they can link him there. So the defense is going to have to try and figure out a way to explain how that could be him there, but he's also not the shooter. It's not proof. It just puts him in the area around that time. So Five of Cups is the signifier crossed with the Seven of Cups. illusions, delusions, and then we've got the Eight of Wands. Honestly, I think he's disappointed that he got caught so quickly. He might have deluded himself that he had more time, or it could just be that he's delusional. He reportedly read Kaczynski's manifesto and had given it 4 stars out of 5, saying the guy was a political revolutionary or something along those lines, when most people would consider Ted Kaczynski, the Unabomber, to be crazy. So he was on that same sort of wavelength as Kaczynski. But he might, right now he's going through disappointment, but now he has to sort of evaluate what's his best play. Underneath it is the Eight of Wands. His name has been broadcast all over the place. They're trying to hold him without bail. I suspect that will actually probably go through. We'll see what happens. But things happening quickly with him. In the past, the Nine of Cups, you can almost say the life of privilege with this guy. He had it all going for him until he didn't. He had a mindset change. Probably thought he was going to get away with this too. Certainly, he thought a lot of things through and made the police work probably a little bit more difficult. But if you make mistakes, that will make it easier to get you. He might have been too clever. Again, this is just one of those things. It's had this not been a multi-millionaire head CEO, high profile type of shooting event, so far everything seems to say yes. If it hadn't been high profile, he probably would have had more time. Current situation is a hermit, retreating or looking for a way out of the situation. I think this is just they went looking and they found. The World card, this is kind of the end of the line here. Again, they have to convict him. But was he the pew pew person? Probably yes. Yeah, and I think this card came up a few times too in my previous readings. Eight of Cups. I think he wanted to make a difference. He wanted to shine a light on the healthcare industry, understanding that he could be throwing his life away, but he was willing to take that chance because he may not be in his right mind, to be honest. Outcome is the Wheel of Fortune. This case isn't done yet. I mean, we had the World card underneath. It seems like it's over, but it's going. Things will be ongoing. The fact that this guy comes from money means that he will be able to afford solid legal counsel, good legal counsel, and they will undoubtedly pick apart, delay, otherwise really fight this case and put up a strong defense for this suspect, assuming that he's indicted on these charges. Do I think they got the right guy? I do think they got the right guy. When they announced that they had a suspect in Pennsylvania, I was like, I think they got him. And you see the picture, they got him. Okay, now, will they, given the current energy, will they be able to convict him? And I don't remember everything I had said in my previous readings. The memory I do have, because I realize when I'm doing this, I'm kind of channeling. So my short-term memory gets really, really bad, other than a few things that stand out. I thought he would get away with it, but there were potential for rookie mistakes, and it could go either way on that one, depending on what that Page of Swords meant. I didn't think they would catch him quickly. They did. So I did not interpret that correctly. But I am really curious if they will be able to get a conviction. How does that... Just a little four-carder. As the energy stands now, will they be able to get a conviction on this guy? There's that Five of Cups again. Somebody's disappointed with that. Does he confess? King of Wands is usually my Attorney General. We've got money to fight this. And the family. Two of Wands. His family's going to put up money to fight this. I mean, this could be like depression or something along those lines. Two of Wands. I think it's a little early. It's actually really way too early to say. I mean, this case probably won't go to trial for, what, a year, 18 months, a couple years? It might be a couple years before this case ever goes to trial. If it goes that far, if he doesn't plea deal first. Again, my guess is that his family's going to hire expensive attorneys. His attorneys are they're going to want to do discovery. They're going to want to review all the evidence that the police have. They're going to try and come up with a story that would cause reasonable doubt. The whole 9 yards. I guess one other thing. Will he confess? That five of cups with the king of coins underneath could just be, that could be, again, going after the president of UHC, and he decided he wanted to take action against that person. He'd been planning it. Will he confess? Another four-quarter. Six of Swords. Possibly. Going out of choppy waters to the calmer shores. He might confess, do something like that. There's that King of Coins again. Whether that's now I have a hard time telling if that's his family with money or if that's the CEO. Good Lord, this card came up 3 times. This card came up 2. These 3 cards came up the same. Will he confess? He just might. It's about messaging of values. He might take a plea deal. It'll be a while before it happens, but he might take a plea deal on this one. Again, this is kind of just his disappointment with the healthcare system and making a point that Americans need healthcare. I'm not saying he'd be a martyr for the cause type of thing, but he's going to... we'll see. 6 of Swords. We'll see what happens. It's early. It's really early in this. He'll be in and out of the news cycle for the next few weeks to a month, and then things are going to calm down after that. And the only times you'll hear about him is if there are arraignments or significant challenges. But expect that this story has pretty much run its course. We'll get another week or 2 of stories about his background and information that reporters are finding out. But until after that, when there's court, basically at some point he's going to go in front of a judge, be charged, bail will be set or not set, and slowly this guy over the next few weeks is going to fall off the news cycle, and then we won't get updates. But for every several months, we'll get an update on some litigation or something going on with the courts. And we really won't hear much until the trial date is set and the trial date comes. So, let's just do one last reading here. What's the lesson we're supposed to learn from this? This really has a vibe of the French Revolution to me. It's one of those ones where the left and the right stopped bickering and arguing with each other for just a split second and looked up and said, yeah, we don't like the greed of oligarchs and the corporate greed that's out there because we all suffer for it. And the oligarchs sure as heck don't like what happened there because now they're going to have to buy security details and that's going to cost them money. Probably they'll need to get them for their families too, because I mentioned their families aren't going to be safe. So that's going to cost them more money. They're going to be bitter about this. Meanwhile, personal security firms are probably going to have a field day with this. So what's the lesson we're supposed to learn from this shooting? Spiritual lesson. The devil. It's almost be careful what you consume. But it's about corruption. What he did was, the shooting itself was or the pew-pewing was a corrupt act. That's not how you resolve issues. But he was also found a figurehead for the corruption to bring attention to it. Judgment. The devil. Judgment. Decisions. Choices that we make. The world card. Wow, look at all those major arcana. This is a big lesson that we have to learn about corruption and corrupt processes. We have choices that we can call attention to it and bring it to an end. We can just continue doing things the way that we're doing, like mindless zombies, or we can bring it to an end and bring about change. In this case, he tried to make change happen overnight. Change is a much slower process. But I think it will bring around change on these things. People are going to look and not like what they see, and they're going to want to bring this thing to an end. It will not come to an end overnight. This is going to be a long battle, but it's a battle worth fighting. Thank you very much for watching this video and supporting my channel. I appreciate it. This reading is for entertainment purposes only, but I hope you found it insightful, and I'll catch you on the next video. Take care.